What's going on, everybody? Kyle Powers here, Haven Real Estate Group at eXp Realty. K-State grad, turned contractor, turned real estate agent and investor. Today I've got Marlin Watson here with me, very special guest for another episode of Local Legends of the Flint Hills, where business meets community. Marlin, thank you very much for joining me here today. I appreciate it. Marlin, his company is Companion Projects Media, and he does a lot of great stuff. He was giving me a lot of grief here on the back end here with the off screen because of my setup and everything. But I love it because that's what Marlin does. Marlin, man, tell me a little bit about yourself, what your background is, where you came from, about your family. Let's start there with that part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. So as you know, I'm Marlin. I come here from Germany, actually. I was born and raised there for the first parts of my life. I grew up a military kid, military brat. The funny story, my wife, she's also a military brat. We actually met in Germany, and then we both came here to the States. Her dad got stationed in Washington. My dad got stationed in Kansas. I convinced her to come to Kansas State University. The rest is history. So we've been here. I've personally been here for 15 years now, and I've been married for nearly 5, and we have a kid on the way. So we're really excited to raise our family up in the community and continue to expand and grow my business as well.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So you guys came here, kind of the normal story of what Manhattan has, which is come to K-State, you meet your wife, meet your spouse, and then end up staying forever, right? That's the way it works. Very similar story for a lot of people, so that's awesome. All right, Marlon, that's awesome. So when's the due date?
January 15th.
So it's coming up, man. You ready for that?
Yeah, as ready as I can.
Perfect. All right, well, tell me a little bit about Companion Projects. Tell me kind of what you specialize in, where the name came from. That's always a big one for myself and for the viewers and everything that way. So where the name comes from and why you got started doing what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. So Companion Projects Media, how it started was my wife and I, we'd take long road trips and we'd encounter inconveniences in a car, like maybe like a cell phone charger that's like inconvenient to use, and I was like, hey, what if this like cell phone charger could like retract or something? And I was like, oh, that's like a companion like type like product or something. So just things, we would always think about gimmicky things that help make our lives useful. And so then I got to a point where I already had like a lot of camera experience, and I was like, hey, I can probably make some money off of this and turn my hobby into an actual business. And so I was kind of thinking back to those little things we thought about on our road trips, and I was like, hey, Companion Projects Media, that makes sense because I feel like the creative process is a partnership, and I really believe that I got to work hand in hand with my clients to achieve their vision or whatever idea that they have, and just kind of help hone them in on the creative side of things to help make whatever creative content I make for them. I want it to just like work well for them, but also like make sense and make it, I don't know, just flourish is the word that comes to mind right now.
Perfect.
Yeah, but to explain more about what I do videography. I'm a professional photographer and videographer, but at the moment I really specialize and focus on the video side of things. And so I work with clients to document testimonials, share stories, and create like branding videos just to help enhance what I like to say my clients like front porch, which is like their website, their social media pages, just to help people engage with them better, and so they have really professional, like refined content that helps enhance their brand and just gives any viewers that come to their pages or website like a warm handshake and greeting from the content that they're seeing there.
That's awesome. So, and I'll tell you guys too, one of the things that I love about Marlon is, one, he cares about his craft, which is fantastic. And then your product that you put out there, man, is absolutely amazing. So if you guys haven't, you definitely, towards the end of the video, we'll give you the website and everything to go check that stuff out. But it's a fantastic spot to see what you can do. So I appreciate your, honing in on your craft as far as that goes too. So it's fantastic. Okay, well, perfect. So tell us a little bit more about, let's see a couple of the projects that you're working on currently. I know that you've done for some local businesses here in town. I know that you've done a lot of, some video testimonials, as well as kind of project progression, as well as a lot of the different things that come with that. So tell us some of that stuff, what you enjoy about what you do and what that looks like.
Absolutely. So one of my favorite things is just creating something cool, right? And so I like to go after a lot of those different kind of like unique projects that are engaging. And so I work with a lot of construction companies to record the remodeling process or home building process in a long form. So visiting the sites like on a weekly basis just to get some updated footage to create a full scope of work at the end. I've worked with realtors in the past to create some videos for them. In the past to create videos as well, just to help their listings that are maybe they're having trouble selling, but they're like higher end listings. Just get those kind of moving and create some engaging content for their social media platforms as well. And one of my absolute favorite thing is storytelling. And I bring this up a lot, especially to people I want to work with. And so storytelling is the most important part of any project that I do. And so like whether it's like remodeling a home or doing like I said, like a real estate video or something like what, I always try to hone in on the story and figure out how I'm going to guide the viewers watching the video just through the whole experience of whatever the video I create is going to be. And specifically on storytelling, I love documentary storytelling, and so I'm working on a project currently that not a lot of people know about really, but it's a documentary. It's going to be called The King of Wild City, and that is where I'm following a gentleman in town. His name is Brian Vereen, and he's if you guys live in Manhattan, you probably saw the guy doing the dumbbell walk up points with the gold dumbbells, and so I'm doing a documentary on him. So that's something I'm working on currently that I'm very excited about.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, okay, so let's expand a little bit more on that, but let's talk a little bit more about, like, let's say that I've got somebody that I want to come in, one of our viewers, myself, someone wants to come in and they want to start talking with you about the process and all that kind of stuff. Let's walk me through from first time we meet to final product put out kind of thing. What's your process as that goes out, and what does that kind of look like?
Yeah, absolutely. So when you first get in contact with us, whether it's in person, phone call, email, we just like to first get to know about what exactly are you needing, figure out all aspects that go into the project you want us to create. Because something important as a videographer or a video production company is that we need to understand the full scope of your project to make sure that we are doing our due diligence on our end to make sure that we're giving you appropriate like price point, budget wise, and then also understanding your budget too. Some people, they come to video and they have a budget in mind, but for what they're trying to create may be a little unrealistic. And so we're just really transparent about what it's going to take for them to achieve what content they're needing and what they want their video to do with them. And like I said, a creative process is a partnership. And so we just really want to make sure that we use your thoughts about what you want, but help hone them in and refine them and bring our creativity into it so that we really take it to the next level to make sure that's going to work from you. So once we got all those details ironed out, we will send you a proposal of services, which will break down an outline of the project. You're gonna have like the cost breakdown and then like the payment schedule and contract as well. And then we'll collect signatures, we'll plan a shoot date, and we'll get rolling on your project.
Perfect. I also want to I'm going to bring it up just because we were talking about it off camera here, but setup and all that kind of stuff. What does that look like? Do you want to talk a little bit about what type of equipment that you use and what you kind of focus on? Because I'll tell you, he's done a couple presentations for us, and it is the cameras and all the equipment that he has is phenomenal. Just puts mine to shame, which I guess it should, but it's a fantastic setup that you have there, and so I think it probably changes per video, per source, or whatever that you're doing, right? But tell us a little bit about your setup and what that kind of looks like, and so that way we kind of know what you're shooting on and kind of what you focus there.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm still, as you know, it's an ever-changing, ever-growing setup. But currently, right now, my main workhorse for my camera, I use a Nikon Z9, and that's kind of a hybrid camera, so it's going to do photos and video for me. And there's a lot of equipment I could dive into. Obviously, audio for me is a really big one, and that's what we kind of talked about that off camera a little bit, and that's why we're actually using my lav mics because I wanted to make sure we get some good audio. So yeah, and I'm just. So everybody knows camera lenses come separate. I have my tripods. I use a camera stabilizer. So if I'm doing something where I need to have like a lot of movement in my shots, I can have that nice and steady. And there's just so many peripherals into making something into my setup, and it obviously, depending on what I'm shooting, it changes. I have a drone as well, and that's very important if I'm doing those construction or real videos for real tours. So yeah, that's just kind of like an overview of my setup. But the reason, if you look at my setup, you're going to see a lot of things that like if you have a cell phone camera, that's going to be great for certain things. But if you working with me, to really bring out the quality and hone in on capturing a scene properly and getting the lighting proper. There's a lot of peripherals you have to add to those things to make sure that you're able to pull off a nice high quality production video. And so that's just kind of this all the peripherals. It's hard to talk about it without showing it, but
sure. No, I get it for sure. So, and I'll tell you guys too, like I said, the video or his website link will be in the description, but his product, what he puts out, is a fantastic product. So again, I appreciate what you do there. Just from my basic setup that I have here, the lighting, the everything that he does is top notch, very professional, and I would highly recommend him. So let's go in here. We're kind of wrapping up, coming to the end here, but let's go ahead and how do we get a hold of you? How does people get a hold of you? Phone number, email, website, all that kind of fun stuff. Give us a little bit of information that way, and then what's the best way to get a hold of you as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I'm married, like I said, and my wife helps me with a lot of the communication aspects of the business. So you're going to be primarily contacting her first, and that's going to be through our company email address that she monitors. It's hello@companionprojects.media. Keep it nice and simple. And then obviously our website, www.companionprojectsmedia.com. And then you can reach out to us on social media as well by sending us a direct message. I would say phone, but currently we just get a lot of spam right now. So It's just best to send us something in writing, and we get back to you within a day, every time.
Perfect. So there you go. I'll put the links for his social media, his website, all that kind of stuff in there as well. So be on the lookout for that. Again, Marlin, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate you coming by here today and kind of talking a little bit about your business and what we've got going here. So if you guys do enjoy this content and if you are interested in more, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Go and hit that little bell so you get notified of any future content. Give us that like because it does help us grow the channel. But more importantly, share this video with somebody that might be interested in Marlin's services or something along those lines to kind of help him grow his business as well. And then also just kind of get some more information out there on that one. If you guys do have questions for myself, for Marlin, anything like that, love it if you put it in the comments below. We'd love to work with you guys on some stuff there. So again, thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate you guys watching. Marlin, I appreciate you coming in here today. Be on the lookout because next week we will have another episode of Local Legends of the Flint Hills. We'll have a new guest here with me today or next week, and so just kind of be on the lookout for that one. So thank you again for watching. I appreciate it, and we'll see you next time.